for this place. I was ready to give it up. Well, we needed to get the pipes done. We had to pay for the pipes go from the old metal pipes to the PVC pipes. Well, I called the guy in, and he went underneath where the house, the outside where the bathroom was built on. There's like a little cubby hole. He goes underneath there. He comes out. He's like white as a ghost. He says you need to put lime underneath there, and he split. He didn't charge me anything. He fixed all it up, and he's like, you need to put lime underneath there. He didn't tell me why or anything like that. And I wasn't going over there. And no, I wasn't going to call the cops. I wasn't going to be blamed for that. Whatever was there, it could stay there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This place was ominous. And I found even a bone in my backyard cleaning it up underneath this tarp. They built, the concrete up to a certain point, and it kind of drops off, and there's like a mat. And I lifted it up, and there was a bone.
No.
I put it back.
No, of a human type bone?
It looks like a human bone. But, I mean, everybody's like, oh, that's a cow bone. I'm like, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm not a doctor or anything.
No.
I wasn't calling the cops either.
No, I don't blame you. It's just like if you have a big dog and your dog's out in your field and comes running back with a thigh bone, and then you call the cops, and then, they start digging up your property, and then they found out the bone was at least 100 years old, so then that ended that whole situation. But, I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of people that have been killed. One of my guests who has been on my show a couple times, Liz, on her property, she's been outside, and then she saw like a boy walking, towards her, on her property, and she was kind of concerned, and he looked like he was in a hoodie and all that stuff and jeans, and then, she took her eye off him just for a split second, and then he was gone, and she went and checked. Now, at that time, she was a deputy sheriff, for a county there, so she's not, naive type of person, and she went and checked. There was no footprints, and the only way that kid could have vanished was to go the exact same way he was coming, or continue through, to the house. And there was no footprints, no nothing. And then she was telling me, like, they would be in the living room and the refrigerator open and close. And it wasn't her kid, and it wasn't her husband. It was open and close. And same with, like, one of her bedroom doors that opened and slammed shut. And it makes you wonder.
Yeah, like just paranormal, activity all over the place.
Yeah, because
and on the land and everything.
Yeah, because you don't know. I mean, when you go out and buy a house, it might be a new house even, but you don't know what was there before or before that. And then in some of the areas,
or on the property too.
Oh yeah,
people don't realize property can be haunted. I've lived in a few other places, including the one I live in now. As far as I'm concerned, it feels like a Native American Indian burial ground. Everything's uneven. Everything's on mounds. And it just feels like one big solid cemetery out here.
Well, too, I don't know. During the Civil War, did they have any? Did you ever check and see if they had any?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they put it in the National History, archives and everything else in 2016. So it's got to be related to something like that. And then the Norris Dam is linked all the way up to where my sister lives, where we investigated the grist mill, and it's all due to the war. It's all due to President Roosevelt. He put this into action, and there is so much that people just don't know. Like, that's why, I investigate and, get the, all I can. I dig deep. I mean, if you dig hard enough, you're going to find something. And all I know is all these places are linked together. Through President Roosevelt. Yeah,
I mean, seriously. I mean, especially going back for the Civil War for a minute. I mean, there was all these little battles going on where people were dying, and they just buried them on, on the battlefields. I mean, that was quite common. And
then on top of that, Indians here too.
Oh yeah. So you don't know. I mean, you got property. You think, oh, well, gee, I just got a new house, right? And then, boy, I had another guest back many, many months ago that bought a new house, and it was haunted, and he couldn't figure out why. And he did research and found out, that there was some Civil War battles right on the land he owned. And, and I was telling him, I said, well, that could certainly be related to, your spirits coming and going on your house and going through your living room and going through your kitchen. I don't know. I don't know if in some cases, I don't know if the spirits see us, or maybe we don't exist to them. Maybe
they're in their own reality, like the movie The Others. Some do, some don't.
Yeah. The eerie ones is the ones that do, we see you.
They're intelligent. Some of them are very intelligent, and I definitely don't want to mess with any of them. I go out there, and I know which ones I can talk to and which ones I'm like, not happening, see you later. And I ask a few questions, and, they'll answer. I had one little girl say, "Mommy, come hold me," in Red Ash. I've had one say, "It's good." And then the other one, we were in Jesse's Mill, and I asked if he pulled my skirt, because I said, "Hey, someone pulled my skirt," and I looked back, and I said, David Wallace, who owns Jesse's Mill, he said, "Did you pull her skirt?" And he said, "Yes."
Oh, wow.
Very intelligent. And he was like, as far as I'm concerned, that's one of the, Civil War soldiers that were there. He always seen him there, and he also has abilities. And we went through there, and we did investigation of Jesse's Mill, and I was on one side with my mom, and they were on the other side. And we caught the same EVP on 3 separate phones. And they were talking to the spirit on the other side, and they asked, I think it said his aunt's name at the time, but also they asked a question, and I got the word yes on my side and on their side, and then all of a sudden, like, my jaw just hurt really, really bad, like someone punched me super bad, and my lips went numb. Well, I went over there and I said, "You guys," I said, "my jaw hurts and my lips are numb." And this is all on all 3 of our phones at the same time. And they're like, "Nuh-uh," because, like, David's like, "My jaw hurts," and then Valerie's like, "My lips are numb." Like, it's all caught simultaneously.
That would be eerie.
And we're...
Now, you mentioned a Ouija board back about 20 minutes ago. Are you into Ouija boards? Do you have one? I mean,
oh, no.
Good girl.
No.
Good girl. I was going to say, because when I first got married to my first wife, I didn't know she was into, Ouija boards and weird things like that. She never told me that, And I came home one day because I wasn't feeling good from where I was working at. I come home, and here's my wife and a bunch of their friends, they shades drawn, they had a bunch of candles and some weird stuff that I really don't know anything about. And they got a Ouija board, and they're going at it. And it really freaked me out. And I told her, "No, I don't want that in the house." And then, it kept going on. And I got rid of it. It was so strange. I took the Ouija board away from her when she wasn't home. I found out where she had it hid. I went to a thrift store. I should have burned it. I should have chopped it up. I should have done something. No, Gary wasn't thinking. Being thrifty like my family was, I donated it to a thrift store. And they took it. And then, like about 2 days later, guess what? She had the Ouija board. The people were there. They all looked at me. They all were swearing at me and saying, why did you get rid of our Ouija board? It was, what's the odds for them going into a thrift store and finding the Ouija board?
Right.
Yeah. And I'm going, wow, this thing, boy, I thought
that was a little bit more than intuition.
Oh, it was, I tell you what, some of these people get engrossed in it so much, it can actually totally destroy a marriage really fast. And it really was eerie. These people really creeped me out. The type of people, they weren't, how could I say it? They weren't your normal people. I mean, they were kind of
cult.
Yeah.
Like a cult?
Yeah, they were kind of like a cultish type of people. And, I finally got to the point where I did get rid of it and they never got it back. But then, it didn't stop it. She went and got another one. And it was either I had a choice of accepting her and having her, weekly friends over doing what they were doing, or
seances and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was my first marriage, and I made it last 2.5 years. And then finally I couldn't take it anymore. I mean, she didn't tell me she was into witchcraft or was so-called witch when we were dating. It was only
That's
after.
deceptive. That's deceptive, yes.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if she would have said right on our first or second date, hey, I'm into witchcraft, I'm a witch, I would have said, okay, well, hey, you want to go have a drink and we'll talk a little bit more? And then I would have lost her phone number.
Yeah.
But, people are, and she was trying to manipulate me, at that time, trying to get me into the Ouija board, saying I could talk to, my loved ones that passed on. And I go, I don't want to talk to my loved ones that, I just didn't want to. I mean, it's something I wasn't into. Honestly, I warn people, don't get involved in a Ouija board, because I think you're opening up another can of worms. The message
right,
is,
especially when you don't have the knowledge or the understanding or any of it, or know what you're dealing with, because you're not invisible. Nobody is.
No, but
they don't care what religion you are. They don't care what color you are. Nothing. No,
but the problem, what I saw is, right, that she was talking to like one of her dead grandmothers, and I kept trying to tell her, I said, how do you know that's your grandmother? Well, she's telling me all this stuff, and it all matches. And I said, how do you know it's not a demon? Pretending it to be, and feeding you information. And that's what it is.
And, I mean, I judge no one by it, but I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with it, honestly, because I see enough. Like I tell people, I say on the lighter side of stuff, and that stuff happens. Anything and everything is possible. And I said, do your research. Do your work, because I'm telling you, it's going to get you hurt. Well, knowledge is definitely power.
Yeah.
In this situation.
And you don't want to open up something and have some entity come into your life that you can't get rid of and destroy your life, destroy your brain, destroy, your relationship.
Right, everything. Destroy everything about you, destroy everybody around you, and then kill you.
Now,
That's how I see it.
We got just a few minutes left. How long have you been doing Facebook Live on Facebook?
I've been doing Facebook Live since this year, starting January 1st.
Okay. Now, I noticed tuning in sometime once in a while on your Facebook Live. At one point, you were kind of like doing some, like wigs and different things on, and it looked like you were just having fun doing the show.
Yes. I talk about jewelry. I give shopping tips, and I am one of those people that thrift shop. Cheaper is better for me. Me and my mom shop on Wish app, and I show all the jewelry and all the different types of jewelry you can get for less. Why pay more when you can pay less, literally? And that's what I do. And also on Fridays, I do Paranormal Fridays, where I dress up and do like my artistic work. And me and my sister also go live, and we do the research on what we decide to dress up as, and we do our own twist on, it's like doing Halloween, but it's like an art.
Uh-huh.
And we do the research on every character.
Well, it looks like you guys are getting into it, and your viewers are getting into it. Now, don't you go ahead and tell everybody, the listenership, what you call your show on Facebook?
It's called Green Eggs and Ham. And my grandmother taught me how to read. My grandmother, my mom's mom, Grandma Bibby, she taught me how to read, and that was my first book, and by Dr. Seuss. Okay. And even, Tim Burton loves Dr. Seuss, and he quotes, and I quote all the time, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Why fit in when you're born to stand out? and it's been my inspiration to be